Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Two Legs. It feels like it's been a hot minute because it has. We're back for episode number 224. I am one of your two co-hosts, Andy Nichols, and I am joined, as always, by one of the co-founders of Two Legs, Mr. Thomas Hunyadi. Tom, it's been a minute. It's good to see you back.
And it's great to be back, and always talking McCartney with you. Always a pleasure, and this should be an interesting one.
First new show of the month for October.
That's right.
Great job on Talk More Talk the other night.
Yeah.
For Lennon and Mind Games with Chip Mattinger.
Where Chip Mattinger joined us, and we talked a little bit about his two books. And Chip's a great guest. Very knowledgeable, and the work that he put into those two books is legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Should be commended for the work that he did. And the second volume of the Lennonology will be, as the first volume was more of a diary. The second part 2 will be more of a recording sessions diary.
Yep.
So that should be really good when he gets around to putting that out.
Yeah, and I did see a cool picture of Chip and Mark today on some Beatle page on Facebook. For a while they actually there was 10 hard back copies of 8 Arms to Hold You that they made available.
Really?
Yeah, and they were signing them. 10. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Only 10. I have to ask him about that next time.
I got my hands on one of those.
Yeah, man. That was a cool photo to have that book in, hardcover.
Yeah.
To do that. But good show for that.
Yeah. Thank you. And we're getting close to the new tour, or the continuation of the Got Back tour. Started last year. A Girl on the Scene, Joan, she's going. So that's the 18th. So it's going to be interesting to see when we're
Down Under.
Down Under. So it's going to be interesting to see when we get to talk to her. If I remember correctly, I'm trying to remember when we had the Off the Ground co-producer.
Julian Mendelsohn.
Julian Mendelsohn, yeah. I mean, I'm trying. Was it like 16 or 17 hours that he was ahead?
Yeah, it was like the next. We recorded that at I don't know, like 8 o'clock New York time, 5 p.m. for you, and I think it was something like 10 p.m. the next day or something. Yeah, it was crazy time difference. But yeah, well, hopefully we'll have Joan on, and the tour is starting up again. That's as far as news.
Yep.
With the tour starting back up again, Paul posted a nice couple.
Still waiting. Yeah, we're still waiting on whether or not he's going to release anything this year. Don't know. I think they're just going to keep the focus on. I mean, if and when we ever get the news about the the Red and the Blue, what they're going to do with that, I would imagine they would just want to keep the focus, on those releases. And that'll be it for the year. Ringo's EP will be out by the time this episode has dropped, and then the focus will just be
and his tour as well.
Yeah, and his tour, right? Absolutely. So, and I did hear somewhere that Netflix has dropped his High in the Clouds animation film. So I'm going to definitely check more on that. But the latest I heard was that that's no longer going to be done by Netflix.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I'll have to get more into that. So, but anyways,
kind
of a cool show today.
Today we're diving into as you know, it's this 50-year anniversary year for a lot of big things in '73, and today we are going to talk about one of the singles from Paul and Wings from 1973, and that was Helen Wheels, or Hell on Wheels.
Hell on Wheels.
Yeah,
the third single of that year.
Yep, the third single of the year, released as a single in October 19th, 1973 in the UK, and November in the US. Got to number 10 here, and got to number 12 in the UK. Interesting single choice. We're going to get into the the backstory of it, and does it belong on Band on the Run or does it not? If you're in America, you probably think you do, except if you're me.
Right.
And we'll get to all that. But yeah, Hell on Wheels. I mean, that was definitely included in the 7-inch singles box set. What cover? You're the international picture sleeve guy. What picture sleeve was the one included in that for Helen Wheels? Which country was
Oh,
it?
jeez.
Do you
I
know?
mean, now you're putting me on the spot.
Damn, man, I thought you'd know.
Maybe it's the Spanish one, the Spain one, if I remember
I
correctly.
think you're right. I think you're right. It's that one.
This is the Helen Wheels from Spain. And while I'm showing this, I'll just show the other ones that I
Yeah,
have
let's see
here.
them.
This is from Italy. Now remember this larger photo right here, because as I've said before, sometimes other countries use the same image for their picture sleeves as well. So
Correct.
this is a pretty interesting one from Italy. You see a couple live shots in there.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go with Belgium, which is just an apple, a
I
green
like
apple
that
with Paul
though.
McCartney and Wings. Yeah, this isn't bad. This isn't bad. Now here's that other image that I was just talking about. This is the Japanese
Ah,
version. So same image right there. Okay. I like this one. This is France. Obviously, this is a live shot from probably the 73 or 72 tour.
two. That looks like 72.
72. Right. So, and then, with Country Dreamer. I like this one as well. This one's from Sweden. Which
Okay.
Sweden, hey, I won. I won that.
Oh, you did?
Yes, yes, and I'll talk
Ah.
more about that
Well,
another
we'll
time.
have to see that on another show.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. This is part of a larger Wings group shot.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
like a Red Rose. That's I think that's
right,
72 as well. It was in the Red Rose
right,
Speedway box.
right. And I think this was 72 as well. This is when they went to, I think, Morocco, was it?
Morocco, yeah. Or
Yeah, yeah,
Marrakesh, maybe.
yeah, right. And this is from
How many do
Germany
you
right
have?
here. This is 7. I have 7 from around the world.
That's pretty cool, brother. So
yeah,
yeah, Helen Wheels.
right.
B-sides Country Dreamer, which
Country
is
Dreamer.
nice little country
Well,
folky.
this continued his him releasing stuff from the Red Rose Speedway sessions, right? There was what, Best Friend, right? And there what was the other one that what was My Love, the B-side for My
The
Love?
Mess.
The Mess, yeah. So this
Well,
continues.
Best Friend didn't get released until 5 years ago.
Well, right, yeah, right. But I mean, it was going to be part of that double album.
Oh yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah, it was going to be on
Yeah,
that.
so this was just him continuing to
Pulling
release
stuff from that material, from that period. Country
Correct.
Dreamer, which
Correct.
kind of pull more in that similar that continuing that heart of the country type mode in with his songwriting, especially Country Dreamer. On it, personnel is Paul on lead guitar, drums, bass, lead vocals, Linda on backing vocals, synths, and Denny Lane as well. So just the three of them on that, really. Recorded in Lagos from the 3rd to the 7th of September. And the song was written for his car. If you know, the UK cars, Land Rovers are a big British vehicle. And he had one. I think he still has one to drive around.
It might be the same one.
It might be. The lyrics are really cool. I like the lyrics a lot because they refer to all places mentioned that they're driving through from Scotland to London, Glasgow, Carlisle, Kendal, Liverpool, Birmingham, the M6 South out of Liverpool, where they play the West Coast Sound. Been on the M6.
Where they play the West Coast Sound. So let me ask you this though: when he does the song, he kind of like says Birmingham, kind of so he can
American.
rhyme with, yeah.
He's saying like American.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it rhymes with Sailor Sam.
Correct.
But the proper pronunciation, right, is the H is practically silent.
Birmingham,
yes.
Birmingham, yes, no H.
Yes.
It's just Yanks that get it all wrong when we go over there. Where's Birmingham?
Birmingham.
I love those interviews where Paul does American accents with journalists. What's that mean? What's that? He does it so off the cuff. It's so funny. So yeah, Birmingham, but he did that on purpose to mention, Sailor Sam, kind of keeping the continuity of Band on the Run there a little bit, keeping that conceptual. And I can understand maybe why you like that, because Sailor Sam obviously is mentioned in Band on the Run, and now here it is again on the second side of the album, which is where it appears. But it wasn't really supposed to be on there. Paul envisioned Band on the Run as a 9-track album. This is why I say this is the go-to version, because what was released when it came out again in 2010? The 9-track version. Worldwide.
Yes.
So
true. Worldwide. However, I think the 25th anniversary did include
Correct.
Helen Wheels.
The 99 25th anniversary did have Helen Wheels on it. So Helen Wheels comes out as a single, as we mentioned at the start, in the fall of 73. Band on the Run comes out in December. So it gets top 10. The Al Coury, the A&R man of Capitol, says, "Oh, Paul, if you throw this on there, you'll get more sales. You'll do $250,000. Blah, blah, blah. Throw it on the album." So he sandwiched it on side 2.
Right.
After
he caved. He
caved.
Because listen, it was the same thing for My Love too, right? I mean, My Love being on the album, that didn't necessarily want to release it as a single, but was convinced to release it because look at what happened. It became a #1 hit, and then the album was a #1 as well.
Right. So, Paul was probably feeling pretty confident again about where he was. He was coming into his own now as his own, success. He knew Band on the Run was going to be good, and he was like, okay, this guy's telling me I can make more sales by throwing a hit single on it. I'll go for it, but I only want it in one market, and that was America,
right?
Not the rest of the world. So it's interesting when those marketing decisions come into it, back 50 years ago.
Right, and it's an interesting song too to use as a single in America because it's a very heavy UK
British song.
British song, right? And going to top 10, you figured it would have done better in the UK.
Yeah,
but this was the point. This was the period where Paul was doing much better in the UK than he was he's doing better
US.
in the States.
Yes, than he was and which UK. Flipped in the 80s, right? So
right.
Yeah, good point. That it's a very UK based song. Land Rover, Helen Wheels, all the sounds, M6, all the cities. But it's got a catchy chorus, right? It's got a it's a rocker. I'm not a fan of the song. I don't like Helen Wheels. I don't.
It's it's a weird one. I do enjoy it. But it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Here is a top 10 song, right? A top 10 hit for Paul, okay? Not on Wings' Greatest, okay?
Yes.
Not on all the best. It doesn't get a compilation until Wingspan, right? Never performed live.
That's a key one. Never performed live,
which is a shocker to me because again, top 10 hit, you would figure, and a rocker. Right? What did they want?
Look at the amount of number ones. The number ones are top 5s that haven't even played. Uncle Albert, #1, never played live.
But even Another Day, But I could see how they wouldn't have done Uncle Albert live.
Yeah, but this is a rocker not being done live.
Right, exactly.
What do you think about it? By the time Wings is really getting ready to tour, 74. Even Junior's Farm was in there for a little bit and then fell out.
Right. Well, there was so much success. Here's a good song that does well commercially, but then is so overshadowed by so much more success. Following this. Look, listen to what the man said. #1, Band on the Run.
Or just take the singles from Band on the Run.
Jet, top 5 hit. So it's easy to forget about this track. In a way, because it's buried.
It's buried in a myriad of treasures and just knockout songs that are all-time classics. Band on the Run, Jet. Listen to what the man said. Junior's Farm. Come on,
right? Exactly.
And then there's Helen Wheels. And the fact that it still got to 10. But see, all those songs came out after Helen Wheels, so it's sandwiched in between My Love, Live and Let Die, and all that, and then the big stuff because you got to remember Band on the Run really took off in 74. It came out in the end of 73, but that was the year
after the single of Jet. After Jet came out.
Yeah. So
took off, yeah.
But there are some people that swear by that. They love Helen Wheels. I know there's fans of our show that watch and listen. They're like, "Oh my God, that's one of the best songs on the album."
Well, because it's on the album, right? Because they know it, right? It was a hit. It's a known song. So, of course, if this was a bad song, they would have said, oh, and it ended up on Band on the Run in America, they were like, oh, they should have left it off. But because it's a good rocker, in my opinion, I think, yeah, people love it that it's on the album.
Right. And he took the time. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, as somebody that believes that you should listen to an album the way the artist intended it to be.
Ding, ding, ding.
Right. So I'm perfectly fine with Helen Wheels. I mean, Paul has been on record saying he didn't feel like the song fit the concept
It
of the
doesn't.
album.
Other than the
Even though it
Sailor Sam,
mentions
even though it mentions
right,
Sailor Sam.
right, right, correct.
You listen to that second side of
However,
Band on the Run, and Helen Wheels just sticks out like a sore thumb.
right. However, I can see how some people might think that this is kind of like a continuation of Band on the Run. Right? Here's a band, going to all these other places to maybe escape. I'm not saying that this is what he was thinking about the song. Obviously, we know what the song is about, but I'm just saying that people can think that this is kind of like that band. They're escaping, right? And this is all the places that they're
Yeah.
passing by,
Yeah.
right? So but other than that, yeah, there's no point of having the song on the album.
No. And then again, let's the video too, right? I mean, he goes and makes a video, which
Well,
is
that was filmed two different times, right? I mean, you've got the road, right? Them in the car, the convertible,
coming out of yeah.
yeah, exactly, sticking. um, so that's kind of cool. And then they go into a studio, kind of like what they did with Hi 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 and Sea Moon. So they're just in there rocking and
Yeah.
miming out to
Miming,
the
yeah.
song. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
here. That's it. That's it. This is the 2010
Right.
Concorde, Band on the
Right.
Run, Jet, Bluebird, Vanderbilt, Let Me Roll It, Mammonia, No Words, Picasso's Last Words, 1985. Thank you.
Right.
Thanks for coming. That's the album.
That is the album. However, proper and in true form, I mean, the bonus disc does have the helm. Then that's where
That's
you'll find
fine.
Helen Wheels.
That's fine.
Right.
Oh, God. Remember we used to see these? This used to be so exciting when you got these things. Oh my God.
That little
It's like,
card.
this was like crack. It was like, oh my God.
Yes.
What's coming?
Yes.
What's coming down the pipe?
Right.
Not that I know what that is.
Right.
People.
Right. Which I always thought that Wings Over America was such an odd choice to be. What was it? It was the fourth release in the series.
Let's see. Band on the Run, McCartney 2,
Ram. And
Ram, then Wings Over America, fifth.
Yeah. So the fifth release, yeah. So, but anyways, getting back to Helen Wheels,
yes,
or that card,
Yeah,
seeing that card and seeing what could possibly be next was definitely a highlight.
You get the next release, you're like, oh, we're missing London Town and Back to the Egg, 13 years later, and still not here yet. Oh, Paulie. Yeah, we have 85 versions of it all. Go ahead.
Yeah. But the video is, I was watching it a couple times the other day, and just taking it in because again, it's a video and a song that, in a way, I mean, like I said, it gets lost in the shuffle, so you don't really spend a lot of time with it sometimes because you have to go to a compilation or you have to go to.
Well, and it was on the McCartney years, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. The video was on the McCartney years. I'm kind of hoping. That coming up here for the actual release of the single, we get an updated video of a release of the video, like
where
they have been getting
cleaned up.
Where it's cleaned up. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because the quality of that original video, promotional video, is not good at all. It's very great. It's got 70s, written all over it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and you get so the bonus disc, and this was the only time in the whole series where you got 2 CDs and a DVD in one package like this. If you wanted the DVD, any future releases of this, you had to get the deluxe.
Correct.
It's the only time they did that with this one. Yeah, but I mean, you're right. If he releases it, I mean, and upscales it like he did with all those, that would look good. I love that bit with the Wings flag opening up.
Yeah, they're unfolding the Wings flag.
That's cool. Yeah, but it's a little cringy. Yeah, but I'm sure the version on this,
it's a little cheesy. I mean, there's a bit when you see Paul McCartney and he's singing Helen, and he's got like a little art behind him, whereas it's almost kind of like reminiscence of Ram artwork.
Yes.
Behind him, which is kind of cool. You see, Linda seems very playful. I mean, they seem like they're. It's just another day of being stoned.
Probably.
for them. The scenes in the car when they get up and everything,
And
it's pretty comical,
it's
but
cool. But
cheesy.
what cringes me with the song is the end of it. That bye bye bye. Hate
Oh, I
that.
love Say Bye Bye.
Instant skip.
No way, dude.
Oh
No,
God.
no way.
Say, but no,
But
I like
anyways,
him going say bye bye. Then there's bye bye bye. Like,
bye
oh,
bye. Right.
off now.
But anyways, yeah. So I like the play on words where it's Helen Wheels, and then he's also singing Hell on Wheels.
Yes.
That's a lot of fun during the chorus. So I really enjoy that. But I believe that's what the Land Rover was actually called, Hell on Wheels, not necessarily Helen Wheels. So
Probably. That
I'm
was
reading
the nickname
two
they gave it.
different. Yeah, right, exactly. The nickname they gave it. But anyways, but yeah, I mean, I like some of the lyrics are fun. I like got no time for a rum and lime. I want to get my right foot down, shake some dust off of this old bus. I gotta get her out of town.
Get her out of
So
town.
yeah, get her out. Yeah. So spend the day upon the motorway where the carburetors blast. Slow down, driver. I want to stay alive. I want to make this journey last.
That's good. Those are pretty good
that was
lyrics.
the last verse. Yeah, the
Yeah.
last verse. But yeah, I like where they play the West Coast sound. I think that's a lot of fun. But obviously again, the whole Sailor Sam bit. But I was also reading because I was going back and going into the McCartney Legacy book. His brother Mike did not understand why he chose this as a single. He did not find it appealing at all.
Because Mike knows what he's talking about. Good on you, little bro.
Perhaps, but nonetheless, it still was a success. I mean, this continued a string of top 10 hits for Paul,
In America, and 12 in the UK. I mean, obviously, you put your name on it. Obviously, after My Love and Live and Let Die, his commercial appeal started to go higher in homeland. Right. So, it was a catchy tune. Just I should best left alone as a non-album single.
Right. Interesting fact then that this Band on the Run was the first LP of Paul's to then have a different track listing, than other countries. So in US it was one, and then everywhere else it didn't have Helen Wheels.
Right. Only in the United States.
Right. However, then he had different track listings on what All the Best had different track listing, right? You had Once Upon a Long Ago, and you had
We All Stand Together.
We All Stand Together, on the UK. Then
and the studio coming up also on the UK.
Yes, correct. And then you didn't have Back in the US had a different track listing than Back in the World.
A couple different live, 3 different live tracks.
Right. So I mean, there was a couple instances where the track listings were a little different, but that's the only album of original material
that
canon that was different than other parts of the
right
world.
Because after that he pretty much, with the exception of Back to the Egg where he left off obviously Goodnight Tonight and Daytime Nighttime, just about every single was on the album after that for the most the most part, not Motherfucking Tire obviously, but with a little luck, Silly Love Songs, Let Him In, Listen to What the Man Said.
Right, and he held firm. I'm in that group. I kind of like when in the UK where they talked about the tradition of putting out the album, but then also putting singles that were not on the album, because then they feel like they're not overcharging people or the fans, giving them a song a second time that they have to pay for. Whereas in the US, that was becoming the standard. Was to sell the song.
Well, less songs on the album too. Less songs on the album, yeah. Although by the time of Wings, the albums were, for the most part, were all the same. I mean, only in the Beatle days, where it was 14 tracks UK, and then America was 11 or 12, and let's take the A and B sides of a couple of singles and some leftovers and throw another album out. So that wasn't being done by the time of Paul McCartney and Wings, thankfully. And obviously the track listings were the same. But he included the singles on his albums. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, I mean, we're just going to go through them, right? Let's just go through them. Another Day was not on an album.
Right.
Irish, give on back to the Irish. Hi, hi, hi.
Mary Had a Little
Mary,
Lamb.
right? No, none of those are all albums. The songs that are not on any albums. Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die, and then you go to Helen Wheels, elsewhere around the world. Then you go to
Junior's
Junior's
Farm.
Farm, Mulligan Tire, and
Mulligan
then
Tire,
Good
and then
Night.
yeah. So yeah, but for a little bit there, and then when he was really big, they were all on the albums. Let Him In,
Right.
So They Love
Right.
Songs, Listen to What the Man Said. Those are
Right.
big hits
Exactly.
with a little
Big
luck.
hits that came from the big hits that came from LPs, which then come the 80s, then that's the standard then, right? I mean, Ebony and Ivory could have been a standalone single.
And a lot of people feel
In my
it should have been. They feel like it kind of cheapens the album a little bit. I don't agree with that. Do you?
opinion.
Do you?
Not necessarily. I mean, if he meant it to be on the album, then that's the way we should listen to it. But
Yeah, in the
but
'80s, I mean, Once Upon
right.
a Long Ago, well, Spies Like Us, Once Upon a Long Ago,
Uh, we all stand together.
We All Stand Together.
Yeah.
That's about it, right? Yeah, for the
About
'80s.
it. Yeah. Right. Well, I mean, yeah. So Spies Like Us was for the film. We All Stand Together was for the Rupert. Which another trivia thing is like Sailor Sam. Us in America, we really wouldn't know that, but then in UK, Sailor Sam, I guess, was a part of the Rupert the Bear comic
Hmm.
strip. So there you go. There, you people from the UK, correct me if I am wrong on that. But I mean, as those Americans, I mean, I know we've talked about this before. A lot of people, fans of the show, they want Helen Wheels on the album, right? So, and then most of the people, around the world, I mean, that they probably wouldn't care less. Let us know in the comment section.
Now,
Yeah.
what would you think about Helen Wheels being played live now?
I think he could do it now. I think that would be a great addition to the set list.
I'd say, even though I hate the song, I'd say yes, just to change up the set list. Go ahead, play it. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not very vocally challenging, right? I mean, the band could easily do the backing vocals
Yeah.
from Denny and Linda. So yeah, so it's definitely
We should. It would
not an
be
issue.
remiss of us on our part if we didn't mention too that our hearts go out to Denny Lane, right now.
Well, yes, right, yes. We all know that Denny's having some health issues. There's a GoFundMe site which we'll add the link in the description area of this page, and it's your choice. I mean, if you feel like you wanna help him, then go ahead. But I've been saying this now for the last couple of weeks. I feel like there's no way that Paul should feel like he should contribute if he doesn't feel like he should contribute. But if people out there think that he should, then I mean that's your opinion. But you know, Denny is traditionally has said that he's never been good with money. So
I mean, to not have any
that's
health,
on him.
to not have any kind of health care coverage though is a
At
bit.
his age, though, yeah. I mean, right?
It's,
I
it's,
mean, the healthcare for. I mean, if he was in the UK, I'm sure all of this would be taken care of.
it would, but would the quality of care be as good? That's what they always say.
Yeah,
I don't
right,
know. I mean,
right.
Denny's been in America for so many years. You couldn't get on some kind of plan. I mean, my heart goes out to the guy. I've seen him in concert a few times. I met him. I met him at a
Yeah.
fest eons ago. He signed Wildlife for me.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, he did. Just a nice guy, and so sorry. Sad to see that. When somebody's struggling
Oh
like that.
yeah.
Well, A is struggling, is not well, and then B has financial issues too. That's tough.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, we've dedicated a lot of our time listening to him with Wings, right? I mean, we've kind of a lot of people have grown up listening to Denny Lane and his
yeah,
contribution to Wings and to Moody Blues and the Balls. uh,
it was a band,
you know,
folks. Yeah,
whereas it was a band.
I said that word. Damn. Um, damn.
That
Uh,
was still one of my favorite parts of that episode.
was it?
Oh, I love that
Oh, and
scene.
we made the little teaser video for it
Great
too. That's
teaser
right.
for- yeah,
That
yeah.
was good. That was one. That was one. That was a highlight. You
Now
also
another
see.
thing.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, it was
Go ahead.
unrelated. It was just about another musician who
Oh,
fell ill.
oh, but another part of the song was included in the Art of McCartney compilation.
Who did it?
Def Leppard
Oh,
um, performed the song on the Art of McCartney. So
yeah. I mean,
uh,
I wonder if there's any other notable covers of that song out there. But by big name
right,
artists. Interesting.
that's the only one I know at the moment. So
Yeah.
I have to do more research on that. But it's a track that the more I listen to it, the more I really like it. It's just again the fact that it kind of gets lost. I mean, this would be like a great like if he ever did it live. This would be one for him to go. Oh, this is for the Wings fans. This would be the
That's when it's a Wings
yeah.
song.
Right.
That's when it's a
Right.
Wing. It's but I don't even think it was sound checked or anything. I have to go
No.
look at our
That's
Mattinger and
valid.
Easter, but I don't even think it was
Right.
sound checked even really.
Right.
We dropped it as a single and a video, and that was it. You
Right.
know.
But I mean, we got to give credit to Adrian Sinclair and Alan Kozin for structuring the discovering the timeline for the Band on the Run sessions that we do now
Yes.
know that this was recorded in that first week of that first rehearsal week. What was it?
In
September, I think.
early September. I hit it at the top of the
Yeah.
show. Um,
Yeah.
did you see too, or hear that record? There was that auction of some tapes of Jeff Emmerich's that had some sessions from Band on the Run and some London. Did you
No.
listen to that?
No. How is it?
Did you hear about it at least?
I heard about it, but I haven't listened to
So
it.
there's a
But they're
sample from the auction house, and it sounds good, but
Right.
there's another version of London Town and some Band on the Run stuff on there. Get
Oh,
that
really?
thing leaked out. Yes.
Yes.
So somebody pony up the 10 grand that thing is going for, and then we'll find it and we'll get it. But there is a sample. There's a 30-second sample from the auction house, and it sounds good.
Hmm.
The stuff that we
Cool.
have not heard
I'll
before.
check
So
it
that I don't think Helen Wheels was one of the tracks. Mamunia was. I think Picasso's Last Words was. There's a few
Right.
on there as
Right.
well. But
Yeah.
that'll be an interesting gem because that's during those sessions as you just mentioned.
Hmm. Another notable thing on the song when you hear Linda doing her countdown, or her one. I mean, that's to help Paul keep time. This was a shuffle, which he's never really good at as a drummer. So he found the timing, thanks for Linda's counting. But again, I think it's a good drumming performance from Paul. There's some
You
really
see him in the
good,
video doing it.
guitar work. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some really good guitar work towards the end. Some good solos at the end of the song
Yeah.
too. So I mean, I dig it.
Technically,
but,
technically brilliant. It's played phenomenally.
Right.
It's just it's just a weird song.
yeah, yeah. I think it's definitely a wasted opportunity that it wasn't. See, what I would have done, I'm thinking, I keep thinking more about how I would change Wings Greatest. And now I'm like, okay, get rid of Uncle Albert, get rid of Another Day, and you add Listen to What the Man Said, and you add Helen Wheels. And I think that
then it's a Wings. Then it's a Wings greatest. Yeah.
then you've got your Wings Greatest,
Which
so-
I mean, that could have been a double album.
Exactly. If you don't do that, then you make it a double album, right?
I mean,
So-
Christ, he paid what a million pounds to fly the guy to Switzerland
statue,
to get
just
the statue in the snow. Come on, man. That could have been a double album.
Right. Yeah,
That was a great
easily.
early compilation though in your early music collecting days with Wings Greatest,
Yes.
playing Wings
Yes.
Greatest, seeing the single artwork on the back, like that was its first compilation. So yeah, it's flawed, but damn, it was nice
Right.
to have all those songs on one album. To have Mulligan Tire on an album
Mulligan Tire and the full version of With a Little
with a
Luck.
little luck for the win. Yes, on Wings
Yes,
Greatest,
and the full-
nice poster.
Right, and the full version of Junior's Farm as well.
Right. So it's not complete. It's not, but it is. I tell you what. But for its day, man, I played the hell out of that compilation on vinyl.
Yeah, no, it is a good
But
compilation.
that
It
should,
might
you're right,
be
that should have been on there. If we're gonna do Wings and that was a single, it should have been
yeah.
on there.
Right, because you can, and then you also could have made it double because what else you got? I mean, you could have put on made the live version of Maybe I'm Amazed, which was a top 10 hit,
Right.
right? You could have put on Mary Had a Little Lamb. I mean, those, a top 20 or top 30, or I think it was in the 20s or something like that. I mean, and then you also could have put on the other tracks from Venus and Mars that were released as singles
Yeah, but
as
letting
well.
go only got to
So
like 40 or something. Didn't
yeah,
do too
true.
well.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was top 40. It was, all those tracks
Yeah,
were
go
were
figure.
top
Right, go
40.
that Wings Greatest does not have Maybe I'm Amazed on it, which is crazy, right? You think about that,
Hmm.
right? But I guess it had done so well on its own, he wasn't going to throw it on that, on
Right.
that compilation. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, no, I enjoy Helen Wheels. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
You think it belongs on the album? Did you think
yeah.
it
I'm very
doesn't belong
curious on
on
the
the album?
comments. What's the vote count? I'm sure most people are going to say they think it belongs on the album because most people are probably watching in America, which I get. But yeah,
Right.
this was a nice little quick, easy one for us this week. Kind of getting
Absolutely.
back. Tom and I are incredibly busy, but our pace will continue, and we'll have new shows for you for the rest of the month coming up as well. So we wanted to kind of come back and see you and do a new
Yeah.
show, a nice little quick
Got
one on
back.
Helen. Yeah, got back. By the time we
Yeah.
do another show, he'll have played that show, so we can talk about the set list, watch some videos, see how he sounds, and see what happens, what comes down the pike. Thomas, tell us what's going on with Talk More Talk.
Well, like you said, we had just did our episode celebrating John Lennon's 83rd birthday. Well, we did a kind of like a number nine dream, which Ken
Hmm.
Michaels does on his YouTube channel. We did our top three favorite tracks from Mind Games. We did our top three underrated John Lennon solo tracks, and we did our top three underappreciated John Lennon Beatle tracks. So that was a lot of fun. Our next episode will probably be a review for Ringo's latest EP, and that'll be probably Monday after this is dropped. So we're actually going to have a
Oh,
week in between shows.
oh,
So
wow.
so yeah, yeah, yeah. So we
Usually you
want to
guys
try
were
to.
every other,
It's
right?
just every 2 weeks, but because the Ringo EP is coming out, we want to kind of put that out sooner rather than later. So we wanted that review to be fresh in everybody's minds after they've had the weekend to listen to it. So we're going to uh, you know be live the following week, so that'll be fun.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
right.
Awesome.
And you mentioned before you got the Steve Hackett show coming up, right?
Yeah, by the time, although when this drops, I'll be seeing him the night that this drops. So yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
I'll have a review of that concert on my channel as well. Going with a couple of friends who I go proghead nuts that I go to those shows with, and
Hmm.
Tom met both of them, so that'll be cool.
Yes.
I'll have them on the channel, on my own channel, to do that. A couple weeks ago, I did the unboxing for the super deluxe edition of Who's Next, which I'm I think only a
Right.
quarter of the way through still, but getting there, and it's
It's a
phenomenal. And
massive set. It really is a massive set.
it's 11 discs, and I started the
Yeah.
book. I listened to 3 CDs, so I'm getting there. But just time, man. You need time, and
Yeah.
when you don't have it,
Yeah.
brother. It's just you got to
Oh, I
find
hear you,
time, and
buddy.
it's there. So good, all good stuff coming in the next couple of weeks. We will have in November. We're gonna have Owen Ling back on again for our Paul and
That's
George
true.
relationship. That'll be a November show. So and we did surprise everybody. Did a little live Lennon recap earlier in the week
Yes.
to commemorate his birthday, and that we hadn't been live in a minute. We'll probably definitely be live, I would think, once or twice before the end of the year, especially if we get some news.
Hope so. Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely. If we get some news, we'll try to be live. I got a big move coming up here at the end of October, so that's going
Yeah.
to take some of my time.
Good
But yeah,
luck to
but
you.
like
Good
you
luck to
said,
you, partner.
thank appreciate that. And hopefully come November I'll be on a kind of like a little bit of a more, normal work schedule. So I can, get back into the research, more
Yeah.
heavy research shows and stuff like that. But from time to time, we like to do the fun ones, right? And I really want to thank everybody for checking out our As Good as the Beatles shows. I mean, I really didn't
Yep.
think that those shows were going to do as well as they did, and I'm happy that everybody chimed in with their opinions and listed their tracks that they thought of Paul's solo career that was as good as the Beatles.
That's good. Real quick, I want to give a acknowledgement to
Yes.
Kyle Hand, who sent us an email on a show suggestion. I like it, Kyle, and I think we'll revisit it. Definitely, but I didn't want you to forget. I know you sent it a few weeks ago. I did see it, and Tom and I will talk about it, and we'll
Right.
I'm sure we will do that because you have great show suggestions. So thank you.
Didn't you say someone else was ill that you wanted to mention?
Yes, I saw this last night. Donald Fagen from Steely Dan is in the hospital.
Oh yes, but then I read that he's out, so he'll be fine, and he'll be back on the opening for the Eagles here.
He will.
In a few weeks.
Good.
Yeah,
because man,
I guess they got Stevie Miller to replace him on the tour.
Yeah.
For the dates that he'll miss. But yeah, Donald Fagen. I mean, hey, look, once he's gone, that's it for Steely Dan.
That's it.
Right?
That's it, man. He is. I mean, listen, rest in peace, Walter Becker. He was an incredible guitar player.
Right.
But Donald Fagen is the voice and face of Steely Dan, and what a great band they are, man. I'm gonna have to do them on my channel one day. They're an awesome band.
Yeah.
You like them?
Yeah, they are. I do. I'm more of a hits guy when it comes to Steely Dan, but I do want to get their albums and check out the deep cuts.
Ooh, and they are damn good.
Yeah. I mean, we're at this period where we're going to be losing.
It's like every day we read, or I get a text from YouTube, and you're like, "Oh, this person's next," and I'm like, "You two suck." Folks, they have this like evil game about people.
Hey, come on, no, come on.
I can't with that. But yeah, it seems like every other day, honestly, somebody is moving on. It sucks.
Right.
It really does.
However, this is I consider myself lucky that I've been around to get to enjoy or experience them while they've been on this earth.
Absolutely, brother. So that is going to wrap it for 224 of Two Legs. That's crazy. 224. Thanks, everybody, for hopping back in for another new show for us for October. And we will be back next week, the 21st, for episode 225. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in this morning, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.
Take care.
Listening to Two Legs, a Paul McCartney podcast, hosted by Tom Hunyadi and Andy Nichols, with musical contributions by Dylan